member from Haldeman, Norfolk.
Speaker, to the Minister of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs, clearly a minister who should be fighting for farmers at the cabinet table. And we have dairy farmers here today. However, the minister said idly by, well, now 174 municipalities, the vast majority of them rural, have passed resolutions opposing the sale of Hydro One.
They have.
And the minister himself has said, we'll keep Hydro One, quote, in public hands. So now, Speaker, when will the minister speak up at the cabinet table to keep Hydro One in public hands?
Changed his mind.
Minister of Agriculture.
To the Minister of Energy, Mr. Speaker.
Minister of Energy.
Mr. Speaker, it's a strange question coming from a member from that party, Mr. Speaker. As we all know in this House in the 2014 election, that party campaigned in favour of broadening the ownership of Ontario Power Generation and Hydro One, Mr. Speaker. Not only that, Mr. Speaker, they indicated that rates would be protected through the Ontario Energy Board, Mr. Speaker. Not only that, Mr. Speaker, the present leader of that party has essentially said the same thing, Mr. Speaker. So when will that party disavow themselves of the commitment they made in the 2014 election campaign?
Thank you. Supplementary.
Speaker, the Minister of Agriculture is sitting over here silent.
Shame.
Sitting idly silent, I might say, with respect to the Hydro One fire sale, while rural municipalities passed resolution after resolution opposing it. Among the now 174 municipalities that opposed the sale are the Ag Minister's own Peterborough County and Peterborough itself. In the past, Minister Leal opposed privatization, and I quote, "We'll never look at it," end quote. His constituents opposed the sale. The farmers his ministry represent opposed the sale. My question, Speaker, when will the minister finally represent farmers at the cabinet table, I'm not referring to other cabinet ministers, and oppose the sale of Hydro One?
Good job, Kobe.
You seated, please. You seated, please. Thank you. Minister. Excuse me.
Speaker, rural municipalities want infrastructure. They've said it over and over and over again, Mr. Speaker. And if they look at the results of the recent federal election campaign, Mr. Speaker, the country in every province said they want infrastructure. That's why they got the result that they did from a party that was promising infrastructure. We did a lot of consultation, Mr. Speaker, and the mayors, one after the other, said they need infrastructure. We have a $130 billion infrastructure program over 10 years, led by the Premier, Mr. Speaker. That is real change in terms of meeting the deficit, of the infrastructure deficit, Mr. Speaker. And the $4 billion that will go to infrastructure from broadening the ownership of Hydro One, Mr. Speaker, is $4 billion that will not come from taxpayers' money, will not come from cuts, Mr. Speaker, and will not come from borrowing. It's sound fiscal management, Mr. Speaker.
New question. The member.